Alright, my little math friends, I am back and we are moving on to lesson 3.4D. We have this lesson and one more lesson done, and then we are finished with chapter 3 and we can finally move on to something else. We are going to be talking about multiplying and dividing rational numbers using word problems. So here I have some clues up here, like I've given you before in chapter 2 on how to tell multiplying problems and division problems. Now they don't always follow this. Remember, I've told you word problems are kind of tricky. They don't always follow the same thing, but sometimes you get some clues. Okay, so if you're looking at whether to multiply or not, usually you're given one of something. They tell you what one of something is, and then you're going to multiply that by one of the other numbers in the problem to find a total of something. Okay, division is just the opposite. They're going to give you a total of something, and they want to know, they're going to ask you what that one of something is. Alright, now it doesn't always follow this. Another way to show or to be able to tell if it's a division problem or not is to ask yourself, are they trying to break apart something? Do they have a total and they're going to try and break it apart into smaller things? Okay, that's another way that I think about division problems. Alright, let's take a look at some multiplying examples. Following our steps for solving word problems, we're going to read through it first and kind of get a visual. Gina hiked down a canyon and stopped each time she descended 1/2 mile to rest. Okay, so picture her hiking down. She goes for a 1/2 mile, then she stops to rest. Okay, she hiked a total of 4 sections. Okay, so this means she did this 4 times. She went a 1/2 mile, rested, went another 1/2 mile, rested. She repeated that 4 different times. What is her change in elevation? Basically, how far did she go? Okay, so I read through the question, I read through the problem. Now I want to underline the question. I want to try and find her change in elevation. Okay, let's go through here and identify our facts. So we know that she descended 1/2 mile to rest. Okay, so descending, she's going down. Alright, so every time she hiked a section, she went a 1/2 mile. She did this a total of 4 sections. She did that 4 times. What was her change in elevation? Okay, so each, we've talked about this before, means 1. Alright, there's my one of something. 1/2 mile each time, 1 time. Did this in 4 sections, so we're going to multiply these together to figure out our answer. We're going to take 1/2, and it's negative 1/2 because she's going down, and multiply that by 4. Alright, and multiplying this by 4, we have to change this 4 into a fraction, put a 1 underneath of it. Now we can multiply these numbers together. We're just going to multiply like normal. Multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators. 4 over 2 simplifies down to 2 over 1. And we're going to get 2 miles is how far she went total after that. And because we have a negative times a positive, it's going to be a negative 2 miles. Okay, now I kind of went through this part a little quickly, showing you how to simplify that. Alright, that's because in this lesson we're talking about how to solve these word problems. I'm not giving a lesson about how to simplify this. Okay, so if you need some review on this, you might want to look at one of the previous videos or come and talk to me. Okay, I'm focused on the word problems right now. That's the lesson we're on, to save time so this video doesn't run forever. Okay, we're going to take a look at problem number 2 now. This is another multiplying example, but I want you to try and spot if you can find out why it's a multiplying problem. Okay, we're trying to find these processes in these problems. Read through it first. A landscaper installs 12 sections of trellis. That's kind of like a fence. Okay, each section of trellis is 3/4 yard long. Okay, so picture that. He's installing 12 of these sections. Each one is 3/4 of a yard long. How many yards of the trellis are installed? There's my question. That's what I want to focus on. Okay, so if you picture this, that's our 1. Okay, so here's our one of something is 3/4 long. We need 12 of them, and that's going to get us our total. That's what we're looking for, is the total amount of trellis. Okay, these are positive numbers because we're building something, so we're making something longer, this trellis, so we can keep these numbers positive. Let's go ahead and multiply these together. We have 12 sections times 3/4, because that's how long a section is. Now, in order to multiply this, we have to turn 12 into a fraction just by sticking a 1 under it. Now we're good to go for multiplying. Let's multiply straight across. 12 times 3 would give me 36. 4 is on the bottom. Now I'm going to simplify that. 4 goes into 36 9 times, so I'm left with 9 yards. Okay, that's how many yards of trellis I'm going to have after all those 12 sections are put in. Alright, let's take a look at number 3. A seal dives when it sees a whale. Okay, that's a good thing. Seals don't like to be eaten, so I'm glad that seal is diving. So picture that, a seal diving, swimming away from a whale. The seal dives for 5 seconds at an average rate of 3.5 meters per second. Okay, how far did the seal dive? So we're trying to find out how far it went. Okay, so let's go through and let's identify our facts on this one. So the seal dives for 5 seconds. Okay, that's how long it dove for. Diving, it's going further down, so that's going to be negative. Okay, at an average rate of 3.5 meters per second. Okay, 3.5 meters per second. Now this per, that's kind of like each. That means 1. Alright, per and each both mean 1. Okay, how far did the seal dive? Okay, we're trying to find the total. Now this could be confused as a division problem because some people would see this word average here and be like, oh, average, yes, that means to divide. I'm just going to divide. But look at your question. That's why we underline this question. How far did the seal dive? It's not saying what was the average rate the seal dove. No, it's not asking for an average. It's asking how far did it go. Okay, so it dove for 5 seconds. Each second, it went 3.5 meters further down. Okay, focus on that question. Don't just automatically assume you have to divide because you see average. Okay, so we're going to multiply this together. We have negative 5 seconds. And that's going to be multiplied by 3.5 seconds. Okay, and when we multiply those together, if you were going to set this up over here and go through our multiplying steps, we would come up with 17.5. Okay, again, I went through that more quickly. If you need a review on multiplying, you can take a look at another video or talk to me about it. So we get 17.5 meters. That's how far the seal went down after 5 seconds. And because we're multiplying a negative times a positive, that's how far it went down, is another 17.5 meters. Yay, it escaped the whale. Good. Next, we have some division problems. Alright, let's take a look at some of this division problem. We'll see if we can start being able to tell the difference between the division and the multiplying. Read through it first. How many quarter pound, okay, so it's telling you quarter pound is 1/4, that's nice of them. How many quarter pound packets of plant food can a garden shop make out of 8 pounds of the plant food? Okay, wow, just one sentence, one question out of this word problem. Okay, so here's what we're trying to find, is how many quarter pound packets of plant food it can make out of the 8 pounds of plant food that it has. Okay, well, we only have 2 facts. We have this quarter pound packets of plant food, and we know that we have 8 pounds total of plant food. Alright, now this one doesn't really follow that those clues for being able to tell it's a division problem. I told you sometimes word problems, they just don't follow that. But how we can tell on this one is it's a break apart problem, okay? And it's a break apart problem because we're breaking this 8 pounds apart into 1/4 packets, and we're going to find out how many that'll make. Okay, it's a break apart one. That's how you can kind of tell. Word problems are a pain, aren't they? They don't always, it's hard to teach them because they don't always follow exactly what they should. So you don't always have the steps. So let's take a look at this. We have 8 pounds, and we're going to divide that by 1/4. Okay, and these numbers, they're both positive. We're making packets of plant food, so we can leave that positive. We're not losing anything. Now when we divide, remember that we got to take, we need to put a 1 underneath that 8 to turn it into a fraction. And then your second fraction, you flip it around and then you multiply. So we get 32 over 1. Simplify that down, comes out to 32. That's how many packets you can make. Alright, that is your 1/4 pound package. You would get 32 of them. Alright, let's take a look at another example we have. Alright, problem number 2 says, over 6 months, Fiona used her online banking account to pay a total of $274.50 for her cell phone services. Okay, so picture that. She's using her cell phone for 6 months. It costs her that amount to use that cell phone. Her cell phone service costs the same each month. Okay, so this was for 6 months, and it costs the same for each month for all 6 of those. How much did she withdraw from her account each month to pay for services? Okay, see this word each? That means 1. Okay, so our question is asking us how much did she withdraw from her account each month to pay for services. So we're looking for the cost of 1 month. Alright, so that is our classic division problem setup right here, where we're given the total, this amount, and we need to find out the one of something. Okay, so let's take a look here. We have 6 months. There's a math fact. Alright, and she's going to pay a total of $274.50. So if you're paying money to somebody, then you're losing money. So we'll make that number negative. So we're just going to take that total, $274. Alright, $274.50. And we're going to divide that by 6 for 6 months. And if you do the division out on that, you are going to get $45.74. Okay, that would work out to, your 4 would go right there, $45, decimal point, and 74 cents. Alright, and let's see, because this number was negative, we're paying money, this number is positive, so our answer would come out to a negative, not -8, negative, there we go, dollar sign, negative $45.74. Okay, if you need to see that division worked out, come and talk to me about that, and we can, if you didn't get that number, take a look at your steps. If you're still stuck, then let me know and we can get that worked out. Alright, so there's problem number 2. Moving into number 3, another example here for you. A 35-meter length of cable is cut into pieces that measure 1.25 meters each. Okay, so each, there's our 1. How many pieces is the cable cut? Look at this question. Do you guys see how this is a break apart question, because it's asking you how many pieces is it going to be cut into? Alright, that's a classic break apart, classic division. That means we're going to take this 35-meter length of cable. So picture a long cable, 35 meters. It's going to be cut into pieces that are 1.25 meters long. And we're going to find out how many pieces that would actually make if you chop up that cable into that many pieces. Alright, so we're going to take 35 and we're going to divide that by 1.25. Alright, now remember with our decimal division it's a little tricky because this decimal point we have to move 2 places to the very end of the number. Same thing over here. If we move it on the outside, we got to move it on the inside. And since we don't have a decimal point, we'll stick one right there, move it 2 places, 1, 2, fill those empty spots with zeros. Now we're looking at 125 into 3,500. Alright, and if you do the math on that, that is going to come out to 28. You'd get 28 pieces. Alright, that is how many pieces that we can break that cable into. Check your division on this. If it doesn't work out, let me know. We can go through those. Alright, we worked out some examples. Now I got 2 try this problems for you guys. Try these 2 out, see if you can figure out which one is a division problem, which one is a multiplying problem. Hit pause when you're done working it out. Hit play again and we'll see what you get for some answers.